Are you serious, Sarah? You're leaving? Now. I shouted, my voice breaking as I gripped the edge of the kitchen counter. I can't do this anymore, she said, her tone calm, almost rehearsed. I need space. I need something else. Something else? I echoed, disbelief twisting my stomach. After everything? After us? After the promises we made? She looked away, biting her lip. I'm sorry, really, but I can't stay. I laughed bitterly, feeling like the ground had disappeared beneath me. Sorry. That's it? You just walk away, and I'm supposed to accept, what? Your apology. I never wanted to hurt you, she whispered, almost too quietly to hear. But I can't pretend anymore. Pretend. That word hit me harder than any punch. Pretend. I had believed in us. Every laugh, every plan, every late-night talk, it all felt like a lie now. Mom. I heard my mother's voice from the doorway. She looked at me with wide eyes, the shock clear on her face. What's going on? She's leaving me, I said, my voice strangled. Sarah's leaving me. My father stepped forward, arms crossed. Son, maybe she's just going through something. Don't. Going through something? I snapped. She's packing her things. She's gone, Dad. She's just gone. My brother, leaning lazily against the wall, finally spoke, his voice calm but sharp. Maybe you pushed her too hard, man. People can only take so much. I turned on him. Push her. I loved her. I supported her. And she just leaves. Sarah zipped her bag, avoiding my gaze. I hope someday you understand, she said softly, almost mockingly. I can't. I can't live like this anymore. The door clicked shut behind her. And just like that, the life I thought I had built, our life, collapsed. I sank to the floor, head in my hands. My thoughts were a jumble of anger, disbelief, and shame. How had I been so blind? So naive? Hours later, friends started calling. Rashid was the first. I heard, man, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I'm fine, I said, voice hollow. Just, fine. You don't sound fine, he replied. Listen, you need to take care of yourself. Don't let this ruin you. I can't believe she did this, I muttered more to myself than to him. She promised we'd be together. Always. People change, he said gently. You can't control that. But you can control how you respond. I hung up, staring at the ceiling. Control. I had no control. My heart felt like it had been ripped out, and the people around me, well-meaning or judgmental, they didn't understand the emptiness. Even my mother's gentle voice later that night couldn't reach me. Maybe she'll come back, she said softly. People make mistakes. Mistakes. I wanted to scream. This wasn't a mistake. This was abandonment. Betrayal. The kind of thing that left scars deeper than any wound. I curled up on the couch, hugging a pillow that smelled faintly of her perfume. I hated it, hated the memories. But I couldn't let go. I couldn't stop thinking about her. And in that quiet, heavy darkness, I realized something terrifying, I was alone. Completely, painfully alone. Alone with the echo of her laughter, the memories of promises, and the bitter realization that the person I trusted most had turned out to be the one who would destroy me. I kept staring at the empty side of the bed, replaying Sarah's words like a broken record. I need something else. Something else. My mind wouldn't let go. My phone buzzed. Rashid. I answered before thinking. Bro, are you okay? His voice was steady, the calm I couldn't find. I don't know, I admitted, my throat tight. She just left, Rashid. Just, left me. I know, he said, sighing. I heard from your brother. Look, man, some betrayals aren't temporary. You have to accept that and start thinking about yourself. Start thinking about myself? I barked, bitterness lacing my tone. I loved her, Rashid. I gave her everything. And she just walked out, like I was nothing. Yeah, he said softly. I know. But sitting around hurting won't fix it. You have to move, or rebuild. Otherwise, she wins without even trying. She wins. I laughed bitterly. She doesn't need to win. I'm already broken. Rashid paused. You think you're broken. But you're not. You're hurt. And hurt can turn into strength if you let it. I dropped my phone onto the bed and buried my face in my hands. Strength? I feel powerless. Humiliated. Every friend, every neighbor, they all know now. Everyone's looking at me like I'm some joke. Forget them, Rashid snapped gently. People talk. That's what they do. You can't live for their opinion. You live for your future. I leaned back against the headboard, eyes stinging. Do you know why she left? I whispered, more to myself than to him. I mean, really? Rashid hesitated. I can guess. Money, ambition, maybe she's scared. People run when they can't face themselves. I laughed, bitter and hollow. Scared? She's always been selfish. I gave up my career for her, Rashid. My time, my energy, my entire life. She made a choice, he said firmly. You can either waste the rest of your life hating her, or you can use this. Turn it into something that belongs to you. I stared at the ceiling. Something that belongs to me. The words echoed, distant but tempting. Could I? Would I? The doorbell rang. My neighbor, Mrs. Khan, peered in, eyebrows raised. Is everything okay? I saw Sarah leave this morning. Poor thing, you must be devastated. I forced a smile. Yes, thank you. I'm managing. Her eyes softened. Call if you need anything. Really? I closed the door slowly, feeling the weight of the pity in her gaze. The humiliation was worse than I expected. Not just Sarah leaving, but everyone knowing, everyone judging silently. Later that day, at work, whispers followed me down the hall. My coworkers, casual acquaintances, all pretending to be polite while their eyes lingered with judgment. Hey, sorry about, one muttered awkwardly. Thanks, I said flatly, voice tight. Really appreciate it. By lunchtime, I was shaking with anger. I went outside, needing air, needing space from the murmurs and stares. I paced the street, imagining her smiling elsewhere, living comfortably while I felt like my world had ended. Rashid called again. You still alive over there? I groaned. Barely. I can't stop thinking about how I, got played. Good, he said, surprisingly sharp. That anger can fuel you. Don't waste it crying. Plan. Move. Show her what you're capable of. I clenched my fists. Plan. I don't even know where to start. Start with what you know, yourself. Your talents. Your work. Your brain. Rebuild from there. The rest, karma, consequences, they'll follow. I sank to the curb, staring at the asphalt like it held answers. Could I really turn this devastation into something else? Could I find the strength to rise? And if I can't? I asked quietly, almost afraid to hear the answer. Rashid's voice was unwavering. Then you die inside, and she wins. But if you try, even just once, you reclaim everything. Your life, your pride, your peace. I hung up, letting his words settle. I still felt abandoned, humiliated, powerless, but somewhere deep, a spark flickered. A spark that refused to die. Sarah had taken so much from me, but maybe she hadn't taken everything. Not yet. I hadn't slept properly in days. Nights stretched endlessly, the ceiling mocking me, reminding me of everything I had lost. My phone lay silent beside me, no messages, no calls, just the emptiness I had gotten used to. A soft knock startled me. I opened the door to a young woman I didn't know. "Hi. I'm sorry to bother you," she said, voice gentle. "I live across the street. I saw you sitting alone. Thought maybe you could use someone to talk to." I blinked at her. "Talk to me? Why would you care?" She smiled softly, not offended. "Sometimes strangers can listen better than friends. No judgment. Just listening." I hesitated, then stepped aside. "Come in, I guess." She walked in quietly, looking around. "Rough day. Rough week. Month, life," I muttered, sinking onto the couch. "I lost everything. She left me. My job, my friends, my pride." "That's a lot," she said gently, sitting opposite me. "But you're still here. That counts for something." I snorted bitterly. "Here. Barely. I feel dead inside. Every morning I wake up wondering why I even bother." "You bother because you're stronger than you realize," she said softly. "Even if you don't see it now." I stared at her, confused. "Stronger? I can barely pay rent. I can't sleep. I'm pathetic." "You're not pathetic," she said firmly. "You're human. Right now, it hurts. But that doesn't define the rest of your life." I shook my head. "Life seems impossible. How do you keep going when everything you love just disappears?" Amina, her name was Amina, leaned forward. "You take one step. Just one. You don't need to see the whole path. You just start." "Start? What am I supposed to start? I have nothing left." "Nothing left? You still have yourself. You still have your mind, your heart. You can rebuild from that. Slowly. One day at a time." I laughed bitterly. "One day at a time? I've been surviving one day at a time for months. And it's not enough." "But it's a start," she said gently. "Even this conversation. It's a start. You reached out, even if just a little. That shows you haven't given up entirely." I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Her words were strange, almost foreign to me. Yet, they felt like a lifeline. Like someone was handing me a rope in the middle of a storm. I don't know if I can do it," I admitted quietly. "I've lost everything that mattered." "You can," she said firmly. "You might not believe me now, but one day, you will. And when that day comes, you'll thank yourself for surviving this." I swallowed hard. Surviving, that sounds empty. Like settling for less. "It's not settling," she said, eyes steady. "It's acknowledging reality, then shaping it into something better. You can't control the past, but you can decide your next move." Her words lingered in the room long after she left. I sat there for hours, replaying them. One step. Surviving. Rebuilding. The idea seemed distant, but not impossible. Later that night, I sat at my desk, staring at bills and empty accounts. My body ached from stress, but my mind, for the first time in days, it buzzed with possibility. "Maybe she's right," I whispered to myself. "Maybe I can start, somewhere. Somehow." I closed my eyes and breathed deeply. My life was shattered, yes. But maybe, just maybe, I hadn't lost everything. I was walking down the street when I saw her, Sarah, smiling, arms wrapped around some man I didn't know. Expensive car. Designer dress. She looked happy. And something inside me snapped. I clenched my fists. So this is it, huh? I muttered under my breath. You just move on, live your perfect life, while I rot in the wreckage you left behind. Rashid's words from before came back. Turn this anger into something that belongs to you. Maybe he was right. Maybe this wasn't just pain, it was fuel. I picked up my phone and called the only person I trusted for advice on starting over. Hey, Kamal, it's me. Listen. I need a favor. Kamal's voice was cautious. Favor? What kind of favor? I need help. Business help. I'm starting over. I want to do this right, and I can't do it alone. There was a pause. Are you serious? After everything? Yes, I said firmly. I'm serious. I need people who know the game, who can build something from nothing. Okay, he said finally. I'll meet you tomorrow. Let's see what you've got. I hung up and leaned against the wall, my chest tight, heart pounding. For the first time in weeks, I felt something else. Determination. The next day, I met Kamal and a few colleagues at a small cafe. You really think you can rebuild from scratch? One asked, skeptical. I don't think, I said sharply. I know. I've been underestimated before. People left me for dead. But I'm not dead. Not yet. You've got guts, Kamal said, sliding a folder toward me. Here's some projects we can start with. Nothing massive, but enough to get traction. You'll need partners who are smart, loyal, and ruthless if necessary. I picked up the folder, scanning the numbers. This can work. I just need the right team, the right timing. Everything else will follow. Kamal nodded. And Sarah? I froze. She doesn't matter. Not yet. But when she sees what I build, she'll remember everything she lost. He grinned. That's the spirit. Let's get started. Over the next few weeks, I buried myself in work. Kamal, Rashid, and the team became my focus. Meetings, planning, calls, I immersed myself in strategy. The anger never left, but it became a weapon instead of poison. One evening, I caught a glimpse of Sarah's Instagram. Another lavish dinner, another smile, another hint of the man at her side, her new partner. I stared at the screen, jaw tight. She's flaunting it, huh? Rashid said, peering over my shoulder. Trying to make you jealous? I'm not jealous, I said, but my voice trembled slightly. I'm motivated. She thinks she won. She thinks I'm weak. I'm not weak. You're planning something, Rashid said knowingly. Don't let it consume you. I won't, I said firmly. But I will rise. I'll show her what she threw away. Calmly, smartly. No impulsive mistakes. A week later, I had my first meeting with potential investors. I'm not asking for trust, I said, locking eyes with each of them. I'm showing results. I've been underestimated. I've been betrayed. But that's the only reason I'm here, to prove what's possible when someone refuses to be broken. The room was silent for a moment. Then nods. Then contracts. That night, I sat alone in my small apartment, staring at the city lights. Sarah's laughter and luxury haunted the edges of my thoughts, but it was different now. Not a stab of pain, more like a challenge. She thinks she's won, I whispered to myself. But she doesn't know me. She doesn't know how far I'll go. How high I can rise. I opened my laptop and began drafting my next steps. Meetings, investments, contacts, every detail mattered. Every move was calculated. Every decision a building block toward the life I would create, and the quiet revenge I would serve without raising my voice. I thought about her new partner again. The man she leaned on, the one who thought he could shield her from consequences. He was just another obstacle. One I would dismantle carefully, one at a time. For the first time in months, I felt control. Not over her, but over me. Over my destiny. And that was the most dangerous power of all. I slammed my laptop shut and rubbed my eyes. Another setback. Another project delayed. I wanted to scream, but I forced myself to breathe instead. "You okay?" Amina's voice came softly from the doorway. She leaned against the frame, calm and steady. "I'm fine," I muttered, though my voice cracked. "Just, tired." "Tired, or frustrated?" she asked, tilting her head. "Because I can see frustration eating at you." "Frustration," I admitted, leaning back in my chair. "Everything takes so long. Every small step feels like climbing a mountain. And the doubters, they're relentless. They're scared of you rising," Amina said. "Jealous, intimidated, whatever. Don't let them dictate your path." "I know," I said, but bitterness lingered. "Some of them are impossible." Today, the investors questioned every decision. Every number. They acted like I was naive, like I didn't know what I was doing. "And did you let them?" she asked, calm but challenging. I shook my head. "No." I explained, presented my calculations. I kept my cool. But, inside, I was boiling. "Good," she said. "Let them underestimate you. You'll use that later." I frowned. Later? I can't wait later. I need results now. Amina walked over and placed a hand on my shoulder. "Results take time. Every piece you rebuild now is laying a foundation. The bigger picture is worth the wait." I exhaled, letting some tension leave my chest. I guess I'm just not used to patience." "You'll learn," she said softly. "You survived betrayal, abandonment, humiliation. You can survive this too. And you'll grow stronger." Her words stayed with me as I returned to my work. Days blurred into nights. Calls, emails, presentations, I threw myself into everything, refusing to pause. Every small success felt monumental. Every failure taught me something. One morning, Kamal called. "You've got a problem," he said bluntly. "What now?" I asked, bracing myself. "Someone's trying to sabotage your latest project. Delays, misinformation, looks intentional. Competitors or insiders, it's hard to tell." I gritted my teeth. "I won't let them." "Who is it?" "Not clear yet. But be careful. You can't trust everyone," he warned. "Thanks," I said, already plotting. "I'll handle it." Later, at a meeting, a skeptical colleague leaned over. "Do you really think you can pull this off? After everything?" I stared at him calmly. "I don't think. I know. Every obstacle is just part of the process. I'll adapt, I'll plan, I'll succeed." He shrugged, unconvinced. "Well, good luck." "Luck isn't part of my plan," I said softly, but firmly. Even with setbacks, I began to feel a shift inside me. The panic, the hopelessness, the emptiness, they were still there, but fainter. Confidence was returning. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was strategizing. At night, I often spoke with Amina. "I don't know if I can keep this pace," I admitted one evening. "You can," she said without hesitation. "You've endured worse. Remember the day she left? Remember how you felt like nothing? Look at you now. You're building a life on your own terms." I smiled faintly. "I am. Slowly, but I am. And it feels good." Powerful, even. It should, she said. This is yours. Not hers. Not anyone else's. Yours. Every step, every choice, yours. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. I never realized how much control I'd lost, until I decided to take it back. Exactly, she said. You're not the person you were. You're sharper, stronger, more aware. And you're just getting started. I felt a surge of pride, quiet but undeniable. Yes, I had been broken. Yes, I had been humiliated. But every late night, every hard decision, every conversation, every setback, it was shaping me. By the end of the week, I reviewed the progress. Small victories, yes, but they felt like mountains conquered. And for the first time in a long time, I looked at the future and didn't feel fear. I felt possibility. This is just the beginning, I whispered to myself. The pieces are coming together. And nothing will stop me now. I saw her name pop up on the newsfeed first. Sarah and Khalid announce failed investment venture. I stared at the headline, a mix of shock and something else. Relief? Satisfaction? I didn't know. Rashid's call came moments later. Did you see this? I saw, I said quietly, leaning back in my chair. She's failing. Feels good, doesn't it? He asked. I don't know, I admitted. Part of me wants to celebrate. But part of me feels bad. I'm not her enemy. You're not celebrating. Rashid sounded confused. I can't, I said. I want her to understand, to feel what she caused, but I don't want her hurt unnecessarily. I just want her to see the consequences. There it was. Karma. Slowly moving, quietly but inevitably. A week later, I met Kamal and the team for a strategy session. I saw the news, Kamal said, leaning forward. Sarah's ventures, collapsing. Are you going to take action? I shook my head. Not yet. I'm testing myself, too. Can I control my anger? Can I rise without letting revenge dictate my every move? You're being careful, he said, impressed. Most people would jump at the chance to ruin her. Not me, I said firmly. Not like that. I want to be better than the person I used to be. Calm, calculated. Let her mistakes speak louder than my words. Later, I overheard her at a social event, murmuring to someone. I don't understand. I thought everything was going well. How did it collapse? I stayed in the shadows, hidden, watching. Her arrogance was gone. Her voice wavered. Vulnerability peeked through the cracks she tried to hide. I whispered under my breath, finally. You're realizing, life isn't all charm and luck. Amina called later that evening. You sound tense, she said. I am, I admitted. Seeing her struggle, it's strange. I want her to see reality, but not suffer needlessly. Is that normal? Completely, she said. It shows growth. You're not feeding off revenge. You're observing, learning patience. That's strength. I sighed. Patience, hard to keep, though. Every time I see her, I feel that old anger, that betrayal, bubbling up. Channel it, she advised. Don't act on it. Let it motivate your own success. Let her downfall be natural, not manufactured by you. I nodded. I can do that. I have to. The following week, I arranged an indirect confrontation. A mutual acquaintance invited us both to a charity event. I knew she'd be there. You're coming? Kamal asked. Yes, I said, adjusting my jacket. Not for her, but for me. To see if I can face her without losing control. At the event, I spotted her immediately. Sarah's smile was forced, eyes darting nervously. Khalid beside her tried to appear confident, but I could see the strain. I approached casually. Sarah. She turned, startled. Oh, hi. How have you been? I asked, keeping my tone neutral. Busy, projects, she said, avoiding eye contact. I saw the news, I said calmly. Tough week. Her lips trembled, a shadow of frustration and regret crossing her face. It's challenging, yes. I nodded, measured. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? She glanced up, meeting my eyes briefly. I didn't expect to see you here. Neither did I said lightly. But sometimes, circumstances align. And sometimes, we just need to see how far we've come. She swallowed. I suppose, yes. I smiled faintly. I've learned patience. Restraint. It's not easy, but it's worth it. You might understand someday. She didn't respond, only nodded, humility finally breaking through her arrogance. Later, as I left the event, Rashid's call buzzed. So. How did it feel? Strange, I admitted. Seeing her humbled. Not vindictive, not triumphant, just observing. It's powerful in its own way. Good, he said. You're learning control. That's what will make your success lasting. Not her failures alone. I smiled quietly, staring at the city lights. Control. Patience. Calm. This is what I was missing before. And now. I finally have it. The world was shifting. Her world was cracking. And I was rising above it, stronger, smarter, and untouchable by anger. I stood on the balcony, looking over the sprawling estate I had built with my own hands, my own blood, sweat, and sleepless nights. The marble floors gleamed, the garden stretched endlessly, and the city lights shimmered in the distance. Can you believe this? Kamal said behind me, grinning. From zero to, well, this. I smiled faintly. It's more than I imagined, honestly. Every setback, every failure, it led here. Amina appeared beside me quietly. You've come a long way, she said. Not just in wealth, but in self-control. Patience. Strength. I admitted. After everything she did. I had no choice but to rise. And now, I trailed off, gazing at the mansion, feeling both pride and emptiness. The front doorbell rang. I frowned. Who could that be? A servant ushered a few guests in, new allies and mentors I'd met along the journey. They smiled, shook hands, and praised the design and success. This is incredible, one said. Your vision, it's impeccable. Thank you, I said, masking the swell of emotion with calm politeness. It's been a long road, but worth every step. We walked through the halls, discussing business plans and future ventures. I listened, nodded, and laughed softly at their excitement. The validation felt different from before, earned, not borrowed. Then. I saw her. Sarah. Standing at the edge of the driveway, her eyes wide, hands trembling. Her designer clothes looked disheveled now, her confidence gone. She glanced at the mansion, then back at me, and I could see it, fear, regret, desperation. I froze. Sarah. I whispered, almost not believing it. She stepped forward cautiously. I need to talk to you, she said, voice shaking. Please, just a moment. I remained silent, heart hammering. So many questions, so much anger, yet a strange calm settled over me. I had learned control, restraint, patience, could I keep it now? I made mistakes, she continued, tears glinting in her eyes. I left you, and I didn't realize. I didn't understand what I had. Please. I can't. I need you. Please, forgive me. Forgive you? I asked quietly, my voice barely a whisper. After everything? After all those nights I spent broken, watching you live without care. I know, she said, voice breaking. I was selfish, blind. I see it now. Please. I don't care about the money, the house. I need you back. I clenched my fists, fighting the old rage that wanted to consume me. Part of me wanted to shout, to hurl every word I had held back for years. Another part wanted to step forward, take her hand, and erase the past with a single choice. Why now? I asked, voice low but steady. After all these years, why do you come begging? Because I've lost everything else, she admitted, voice trembling. I thought I could be happy, without you. But I was wrong. I was wrong. I looked away, taking a deep breath. The wind in the garden whispered through the trees. I had imagined this moment countless times, revenge, triumph, cold dismissal. But seeing her like this, humbled, human, it was different. Kamal nudged me gently. Your call, he said softly, eyes sympathetic. Amina stood silently beside me, her gaze steady. You don't have to act out of anger, she reminded me. You have the power now. Power over your life, not just hers. I turned back to Sarah. You hurt me, I said simply. You humiliated me. You left me to rot while you chased your desires. I know, she whispered, falling to her knees. I know, and I'm sorry. Please. I'll do anything. I can't live without you. I felt the old pain, the betrayal, and yet. I felt something else too. Strength. Clarity. I didn't need to punish her. I didn't need to reward her. I only needed to choose my own path. I've built this life, I said slowly, voice calm, measured. I've survived, learned, grown, without you. And now, you want a place in it. But that's not my choice to give lightly. Tears streamed down her face. Please. I'll change. I held up my hand. No. Not yet. I need to decide, for me, not for anyone else. I stepped inside, closing the doors softly behind me, leaving her on the driveway. The tension didn't vanish, it lingered, but so did my power. I had risen. I had control. I had patience. From the window, I saw her shoulders slump, the weight of regret pressing down. I whispered to myself, almost tenderly, some lessons are learned the hard way. And for the first time in years, I smiled, not for revenge, not for triumph, but because I had the ultimate choice, forgiveness, wrath, or walking away. And this time, it was entirely mine. I opened the door slowly, finding Sarah standing there, her eyes wide, hesitant. The sunlight caught the tears in her eyes, glinting like the reminders of the past she could no longer hide. I came to talk, she said, voice trembling. Please, just a moment. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, steadying my heartbeat. Talk, I said quietly. But understand this, I'm not the person I used to be. I won't fall apart at your words. I know, she whispered. I've seen what you've built. The mansion, everything. You abandoned me, I interrupted, voice firm but calm. Do you know how that felt? To come home to nothing. To hear the silence where love used to be. Her lips quivered. I thought I was making the right choices. I didn't know. I didn't realize. You didn't know. I laughed softly, bitterly. You didn't know while I was losing everything I worked for, while my life crumbled, while I begged for the person I trusted most to care. I know now, she cried. I see it all. Please. I can't. I can't live without you. I made a mistake, a terrible mistake. And you thought running away would fix it? I asked. You left me humiliated. You left me heartbroken. You left me powerless. And now you come here, expecting what? My forgiveness? My love? I don't know, she admitted, her voice raw. I need you. I need us. I shook my head slowly, controlling the wave of old anger. You need me? No, Sarah. You needed yourself, your ambitions, your comforts. You didn't need me. You needed someone to carry your illusions while you chased what you thought would make you happy. I was selfish, she whispered, looking down. I see that now. I never realized. I hurt you so much. Please. I'll do anything to make it right. I stepped closer, letting the silence hang for a moment. Anything? Do you understand what that means? Anything doesn't undo the nights I cried alone. Anything doesn't erase the humiliation, the betrayal. Anything doesn't rebuild the life I've had to fight for myself. Her eyes filled with tears. I know. I'll live with that. I'll do whatever you ask. Please. I'm begging you. I breathed deeply, feeling the power I had taken back over my own life. You're begging me, I said slowly. But that's not what this is about anymore. It's about closure. It's about justice, not revenge, not punishment. You've already faced your own karma. Your failures, your lost chances, they are yours to bear. Her shoulders sagged, and for the first time, she looked truly small, humanized, stripped of arrogance. I understand. But please, at least let me explain, let me try. No, I said softly, firmly. Not because I want to hurt you, but because I've learned something you'll never understand if I step back into your world. I've learned that my life, my choices, my growth, they are mine. Not yours. You had your chance. You lost it. And now. I move forward, with or without you. She fell silent, sobs quieting as she absorbed my words. I watched her face, every line and tremble etched by regret, humbled by the truth she refused to see before. I'll leave you, she whispered finally, voice barely audible. I understand. I'm sorry. You are, I said simply. And that is enough for me. I don't need more. I don't need to fix you. I don't need to punish you. I only need to live my life fully, with the lessons I've learned, and the strength I've earned. She nodded slowly, tears rolling freely now. I see it. I really do. I'll never forget. Good, I said, voice steady, calm. Learn from it. Let it guide you. And let me continue my life without you in it. I watched her turn, shoulders heavy, as she walked away. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel anger. I felt clarity. I felt completion. Amina appeared at my side quietly. You did it, she said softly. You didn't let anger control you. You didn't let revenge define you. You chose, yourself. Yes, I said, gazing at the empty driveway. For the first time in years. I am truly free. Free from her, free from the past, free from the weight of what I thought I needed from anyone else. Kamal joined us, clapping a hand on my shoulder. You've come a long way, he said. Not just in wealth or status, but in strength, in wisdom. That's the real victory. I smiled faintly, looking back at the mansion I'd built, not just from bricks and money, but from resilience, patience, and self-respect. Yes, I said softly. This is victory. And it's mine. Entirely mine. The sun set over the estate, painting the gardens gold. I stood on the balcony again, breathing deeply, finally feeling at peace. Sarah's lessons, her betrayal, her regrets, they no longer held power over me. I had grown, transformed, and now I was untouchable, unshakable, and fully alive. I sat on the balcony, sipping coffee, watching the sun rise over the gardens I had nurtured alongside my life. Everything felt different now. Lighter, calmer, yet charged with the strength I had earned. Amina appeared beside me quietly, carrying her own cup. "Morning," she said softly. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" "It is," I admitted, smiling faintly. "And it feels earned. Every failure, every betrayal, it led here." "You've grown," she said, voice steady. "Stronger than you imagined. Not just in achievements, but in control, in wisdom." "I've learned," I said, "that life isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you can survive, and thrive. That you can rise without letting anger or pain define you." Amina nodded, leaning on the railing. "And that's the real victory. Not the mansion, not the money, but the mastery over yourself." I laughed softly. "Funny. I thought I wanted revenge. I thought I wanted her to pay for what she did. But now I realize, the true victory was in me. In not letting her betrayal control me anymore." Amina's eyes sparkled. "Exactly. And now, what will you do with your life?" I paused, letting the breeze touch my face. "I want balance. Work, yes, but also people who matter. Real connections. No pretenses. Trust earned, not assumed." Just then, Rashid called. "Hey, boss, you ready for lunch? A few friends want to meet you. People who appreciate the real you, not just the success." I chuckled. "Yeah, I'm ready. It's time I meet people who see me, not my past or my revenge story." At lunch, I sat among colleagues and friends, new faces, authentic smiles, genuine warmth. "It's good to be here," I said, raising my glass. "To life after betrayal. To lessons learned and strength gained." One of the new friends smiled. "We've all felt betrayal at some point," she said. "But you handled it differently. With grace, with patience. That's rare." "Thank you," I said. "It wasn't easy. Every day was a choice, let the pain define me or let it teach me. I chose growth." Amina reached across, touching my hand gently. "And you succeeded. You didn't just survive, you transformed. That's more than anyone could ask." I nodded. I used to think happiness meant having everything, being wanted, being admired. Now I know it's about self-respect, emotional control, and surrounding myself with people who truly matter. The conversation turned lighter, laughter and stories filling the air. I shared some of my experiences, the setbacks, the mistakes, the moments I thought I'd never recover. But I didn't dwell on the bitterness. I shared the lessons, the insights, the resilience I had gained. One of the friends leaned in, curious. "So, what about Sarah? Does she still matter?" I paused, smiling faintly. "She taught me the hardest lessons of my life. But no, she doesn't define me anymore. I've learned to walk my own path, and that's what counts. Forgiveness, closure, they're for me, not for her." Amina nodded approvingly. "Exactly. You've taken the pain and turned it into strength. That's rare. Most people never recover fully. I think," I said thoughtfully, "the ultimate lesson is that life moves forward. People will hurt you, betray you, but you decide whether it breaks you or builds you. I chose to build. And now, I can finally see the possibilities ahead." Rashid raised his glass. "To new beginnings, then." To new beginnings, I echoed, smiling genuinely this time. The warmth of real connection, the joy of authentic people around me, it felt like home. Later, as the sun dipped low, I reflected on the journey. The pain, the betrayal, the late nights of despair, they all mattered because they led to this clarity. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. I only needed to master myself, and that mastery had given me life worth living. Thank you, I whispered quietly, more to myself than anyone else. For strength, for growth, for me. Amina stood beside me, smiling. And this is just the beginning. There's so much more waiting for you, all built on who you are now. I looked out at the horizon, feeling hope, independence, and peace settle over me. Life after betrayal wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. And I was finally free. I walked slowly through the grand halls of my mansion, fingers brushing along the polished railing. Everything I touched, every step I took, reminded me of the journey, the struggle, the betrayal, the nights I thought I'd never recover. Amina appeared beside me quietly. You've done more than most ever dream of, she said softly. And yet, you seem lost in thought. I'm just, reflecting, I replied, voice low. It's strange, isn't it? How one person's choices can shake your world so completely. And yet, here I am. Standing, breathing, alive, stronger than ever. You've learned to rise, she said. Not through luck, not through revenge, but through understanding yourself. I used to think revenge would heal me, I admitted. I wanted her to feel the pain she caused. But I see now, that would have only chained me to the past. The real victory was, control. Mastery of my own life. You've mastered it, she said simply. Look at you. Calm, steady, unbroken. I smiled faintly, moving toward the balcony. The sunset spilled gold across the gardens, casting long shadows that reminded me of nights I spent in darkness. Sarah's absence, it still stings sometimes. But it doesn't hurt the way it did. Her leaving, it became my lesson, my motivation. She's a memory, a teacher, not a tormentor anymore. Amina nodded, sipping her tea. She's part of your story, but not the author of your life. That power is yours now. I chuckled softly. Funny, isn't it? I once thought she held all the power. Her smile, her charm. I believed I needed her to be complete. But I wasn't complete because of her. I became whole because I faced my pain, my failures, and refused to be defined by them. You've earned that, she said. And the world sees it too. I looked out over the city skyline. I wonder how many people learn it the hard way. That betrayal can either destroy you or forge you. I was lucky, or perhaps, determined enough to choose the forge. Amina smiled knowingly. That determination, that resilience, it's what will guide you forward. I leaned on the railing, breathing in the evening air. The mansion, the success, they're symbols, yes. But more than that, they're proof. Proof that even when abandoned, humiliated, and broken, you can rise. You can thrive. You can find peace. Peace, she echoed. You've earned it. I chuckled softly. It's funny. I used to think closure meant her apology, her regret. Now I know closure comes from me. From the quiet realization that I am stronger than the past, wiser than the pain, and free from the chains of resentment. You've come full circle, Amina said. And that's rare. I suppose it is, I admitted. I've learned that karma isn't just about punishment. It's about life balancing itself. She faced her choices. I faced mine. And in that balance, I found myself. The wind rustled through the trees, carrying the faint scent of jasmine. I closed my eyes, feeling the weight lift, the tension release. I've learned self-worth, resilience, patience, and the beauty of rising without needing to hurt anyone else. That's true justice, isn't it? Exactly, she said. Justice begins within. Everything else is just noise. I opened my eyes, smiling softly. Then I am ready. Ready for life, ready for love, ready for everything that comes without fear or expectation. My past, it shaped me, but it doesn't control me. And that is freedom. Amina nodded, placing a hand lightly on my shoulder. And the world will watch, but you'll walk forward with clarity and strength. I turned toward the sunset one last time, letting the warm glow fill me. The mansion behind me stood as a monument to perseverance, my journey, and the lessons earned. Sarah's absence was no longer a wound, it was a reminder. A reminder that life is ours to shape, pain is ours to overcome, and the ultimate victory is becoming whole on your own terms. I whispered quietly to myself, smiling. I am enough. I am free. And I am ready.